Counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, if it's you have nothing else better going on in your life but to join us here at Comic Book School. But you know what? This is probably what you'd prefer to be doing anyway, because considering all of the options, this is your best option. Because here we talk about the craft and business of making comics. And you know what? We do it for you. But you know what? This show tonight, it's not for you. It's for me and my good partner, Mike Fasolo. Mike, it is only a coincidence that we're both wearing the same shirt.
Same shirt.
Same shirt. Now, why are we wearing this shirt tonight, Mike?
We feel nostalgic for the days of Wizard.
We do, because that, my friend, is where we met. Am I right?
It is. In the halls where we used to run like the wind.
The halls where we ran like we were so immature.
Yes, we were. Still are.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know, but Comic Book School is in part due to the work that we did at Wizard Online, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's where it all began.
What was that?
That's where it all began.
It all began. Well, actually, I had started doing Comics Vision. We have one or two clips up there prior to joining Wizard, and they let me continue to do it. And then you became my co-host on Comics Vision.
Yes, I remember that day when you said, "Hey, you want to be my co-host?" And then I said yes, and I stared at the screen for the camera for pretty much the whole time.
The deer in headlights. But you and I work together at Wizard Online. I've brought some nostalgia with me.
You kept that.
I kept it, and I kept it. It actually has the original AOL site. I'll have to take a better photo of that at some point. But I did save quite a few of these. And Mike, if you want to get on AOL, this has still probably got a few hundred free hours left on it. So you can have. But you know what, Mike? We are actually going to be speaking with one, maybe even two. Very interesting people who have taken on the responsibility of being, historians, chroniclers of history. They run a podcast, and it's called The Wizards Podcast. Have you ever checked this thing out, Mike?
I have checked it out. I've seen it a few times.
Oh, were you on the show?
I was on the show, yes, twice.
I think you were. I think I was on the show as well. I'm not 100%. I know, so much orange. And they're the same color shirt, Red-Headed Ed. I think what's interesting is how different our cameras pick up the shirt. So I think these were staff shirts, Mike. You and I lived off of free T-shirts.
I still do.
How was the convention? We got 6 free T-shirts, and people were like, "Did you work?" We were like,
"Maybe
free T-shirts." Anyway, Mike, I'm really excited because I think that this is something that we probably should have done a long time ago. So we're going to bring on the historians. First, meet Adam Pope. Adam, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, this is great. Yes, buddy, I can confirm you have been on the show.
It was, right? I was. Glenn Gattil is seeing purple shirts here, so it could be Glenn's perception of the world.
Speaking of orange shirts, guys.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Staff convention shirt right here.
That must be a later version.
Yeah. So this is a little bit later. I got this from a guy who actually won it in a prize pack. Let me show you the logo here.
Nice.
Oops, sorry. There we go.
Is that mine? Oh no, I guess it is.
No, we got the different ones.
We got the different one. All right, since there's another guest on the show, I think we should bring him on. Michael,
hi, how are you?
Michael, I forget your last name. It's like cannoli or something, right?
Yes, funny. It's Cannetti, but yes, believe it or not, my dad used to call him the cannoli Cannetti. So it's a very Long Island, true Italian.
You're not in the least bit offended by being called.
No, I've been called way worse.
And you've heard every Godfather joke, right? You
bet. You know, take the gun, leave the cannolis. We've heard it a million times. Every Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it, whatever.
True or false, Michael? Never gets old, right?
Never gets old. It's still funny. It is honestly still funny, and now we meme it too, which is even better. So.
Now, I actually didn't know you guys had last names. I said to Adam, I thought he was like Cher, just one by one name. True, Adam, or did you just make up there's something else about that, Mike. He's Adam and then Pope. I feel like he's got some sort of biblical tie-in.
Something going on.
It's very holy in here right now.
So Adam blesses the show, dominates, it's all good. So guys, first and foremost, I have slides here. Let me see what's on the slides. Okay, so here's what we're going to show slides. So I discovered Wizards podcast because it was being passed around by Wizard staffers. There's a private Facebook group called Ex-Wizardites. I don't think there's any current Wizardites, so I don't know why we need to call it Ex-Wizardites. Mike, you're not on the Facebook, are you?
I am not on Facebook at all.
It's a lie. Mike is on Facebook. He just will not tell you that he's on Facebook. Anyway, we were passing this around. We were all very interested, and we just thought, wow, there is somebody chronicling the history of Wizards. We have, as an industry, done a great job of we did a great job chronicling Marvel, DC, all we didn't save any of our own stuff.
Adam probably has it in his house now. So
what's crazy is I asked Adam, and we'll go through the slides in a minute, send me some photos of your workspace. And Mike, he has more Wizard stuff than Wizard.
Oh, you can't even imagine what he's got in there. It's insane.
Yeah, I keep the archive. Michael tries to keep his sanity dealing with my obsessiveness. That's what goes on.
It is incredible. Adam, and I have to just tell you, it's a great show. You're super enthusiastic. Give us the 2-second, 30-second, or 45-second overview, and then we'll show some cool clips from the show. Adam, tell us about the show.
Wizards, basically what we do is we re-examine the 90s comic book boom through the pages of Wizard magazine by not only covering each issue, each special issue, everything that they put out, the spin-offs, Toy Fair, so on and so forth, but we also bring on, like you mentioned, former Wizard staffers to tell the stories, what was going on behind the pages there, so that people can really get an idea of what went into creating the magazine. They had the bullpen section, they knew some of the names, now they can hear all the stories. So that's what we're all about.
Mike, this guy, he could have been sitting next to you in the pit.
Yes. Yeah, easily. Would have been the happiest employee there.
You have no idea. He would be.
You would have beaten that out of him.
After about a week, you would have been like, oh, I'm quitting.
Adam, we love your enthusiasm. Michael, how did you get involved with this, and what is your role on the show?
Ed McMahon, I guess you would say, is my role. Well, funny enough, so Adam had a previous podcast called Sequel Quest, and I was an avid listener of it, and he was like, you listen to my podcast? Like, yeah, I like it. And I have a background in film and comic books and television and so on and so forth, and I guest spotted on the show a few times. And then in like mid-October of, what was it, 2018?
Mm-hmm.
You texted me, and you're like, hey, do you want to do a podcast together? And I had been toying with the idea for a while. And he said, you remember Wizard Magazine? And I was like, yeah, of course. Who doesn't? Little did I know how much of a Luddite I actually am, for how much I actually have forgotten over the years. But I said, yeah, what the heck? Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. And little did I know the rabbit hole that I dove down, because no joke, I think we were about maybe 2 or 3 months into the podcast, and somebody on Twitter was like, you've got about 9 years of content going through each one of these. Like, I said it for 9 years. I was like, oh my goodness. So
I am absolutely astonished. Now, Michael, you're going to shift over to your relative right because I want you to more. No, you're right.
My right.
Your other right. Keep
There
going.
we go.
Go a little more. Because I want to go. I want to show me your shirt.
Oh.
So you have a shirt. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Both of them have the shirts. Wow, you guys you've branded this thing.
Oh, we're trying, yeah, for sure.
They probably make more money than Wizard made.
Or
at least we got paid. Hold on. Redheaded Ed says Mike is only a Facebook creeper. Honestly, Redheaded Ed, Mike's a creeper in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's not just Facebook.
There's a lot of places where Mike's a creeper. So, okay. So you start off this podcast. You don't realize the rabbit hole you're running down. We'll start with you, Michael. What is one thing that you discovered that you didn't know about the history of Wizard that you learned while working on this show?
I mean, what I found kind of amazing
and
is
contextualize it specifically to Mike Fasolo and go. All right, no, just in general.
Honestly, what I found so amazing is like it was Twitter before Twitter was a thing, with like, the trash talking and the jokes and the like the mail in, the letters section and all that kind of stuff. It was so much like I could visualize those people in the 90s as grown up adults now in 2023 being the same guys on Twitter, like complaining about, what color, boot they gave Batman on an action figure today, like I could just see it. And that stuff I find amazing. But what I also find amazing is how many people who were Wizard staffers utilized that experience to springboard them into other areas in comics and entertainment and so on. And it really was, for a lot of people, a pipeline to grow their career through Marvel or DC or Image or whatever. And I found that so fascinating.
Yeah, it really is amazing. A lot of people did stay in the business. Adam, I'm going to ask you the same question, but true or false? Am I your Stan Lee? True or false?
You're definitely my Stan Lee, because if you look here, I have Buddy Scalera's autograph on his first issue of Deadpool that he actually went ahead and did a little inscription here, not to
But that was the Glenn hate. He bought that off of Glenn sold a custom comic that I gave to him, Mike, and then Adam bought it with an inscription to Glenn.
Nice.
Buddy Scalera original. One of a kind.
Cross out Glenn and write Adam.
Yeah. But as far as what I've learned, I mean, really the biggest thing is how instrumental, how absolutely pivotal, how the magazine would not in any way be what it was without Pat McCallum. Because he was such a behind the scenes kind of guy, and yet he was the voice of the magazine. In the intro to the magazine, he always put Garib, but it was Pat's voice throughout the entire magazine. We did an entire tribute to Pat last year, and so that is something people can check out on our YouTube channel and on our podcast feed. Just the love that everybody had for him and the recognition that he needed to receive for really creating what Wizard was. And I don't know how many people understand that part of the history.
Adam, I know who Pat is, and Mike lived with him. Why don't you explain what you know about Pat McCallum? Because I think that not everybody that's listening, because Pat was behind the scenes and didn't seek out the spotlight.
Yeah, so Pat McCallum was the editor-in-chief of Wizard Magazine during all the years of everything that you were reading, that you were enjoying throughout the 90s. He was the guy doing it. But he began in the Seamus Family comic book shop. He was there as they said, hey, let's do a newsletter. He said, hey, let's put this together. Garib said, we'll do a price guide. He said, let's make it a newsletter. Let's make it something fun and extra that we can give to, our regular customers, anybody else who wants to subscribe. So he was there from the very beginning, just planting the seed, saying we should do this thing, this Wizard thing. And then it grew and grew. And he was the guy, again, like from what we've heard constantly from people is he was meticulous over every joke, every word in the magazine. He's proofreading before it's going to the printers. Like he's making sure that it is the most hilarious, most entertaining thing that could ever happen. And so he was there not only doing, that side, the editorial side, but he's also the instigator of the infamous wizard pranks that you heard about, the wizard scavenger hunts. That was Pat McCallum. Like all the
was
fun.
that Mike? Was that was Pat the scavenger hunt?
Oh, everything was Pat. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Adam, you just taught me something. I didn't know. I honestly, you know what? I've watched your show. I more listened to it. I just put it on in the backgroround while I'm taking a dump.
But look at our faces, buddy. We're good. Yeah.
But I've listened to the show and I've been like, I didn't know that. It wasn't just a job. Let's be clear. We knew we were part of something special, but some of the things that you've uncovered are incredible. So let's take a look at a few of the items that you provided to us. And Adam and Michael, you just curate this for us. This is a video from your show. I'm going to see if I can play this clip. If it doesn't play, well, everybody gets their money back.
I hope I'm not cursing in it.
Yeah, I hope not either.
Oh,
you messed up the sound, bud.
I was going to say, should I start dubbing it right now and we'll just do live ADR?
It doesn't work. All right, hold on. Let's try it again. I actually uploaded it as a video. Let's see if we can show that.
Heroes Return Q&A is a roundtable discussion with Mark Waid, Kurt Busiek, and Scott Lobdell about their plans to course correct the Marvel Universe by launching new #1 issues of Captain America, Iron Man, the Avengers, and Fantastic Four. This leads, though, to a heated debate between the writers about who would win in a fight between the Avengers and Fantastic Four. But the group finally concedes to Busiek's point that, quote, Captain America is the god of winning. Bring in the DC Universe, bring in Image, bring in the Mets. Captain America is the last man standing. And at that point, though, Lobdell follows up hilariously with, quote, I mean, Cap even survived Rob Liefeld.
Oh my God.
Causing the group to erupt in laughter, they say. So
fantastic.
Okay, so we already got that to play. True or false, Michael? Are you allowed to talk on the show, or
I have to fight my way in sometimes, and I try to interject and throw out my little quips here and there. I let him take the lion's share because he loves to talk.
Right. Adam, you were born with a radio voice, huh? You're like,
he does.
Well, I do the research. I put it together. I give Michael everything he needs to say, but he is the color. He is the attitude. He's playing the role that he needs to play because sometimes I'm all business. I'm like, oh, we gotta cover this article. Okay, we gotta mention this. We gotta mention that. And then he's like, do you know how ridiculous all this sounds? Like, that's true.
All right, so he's your Jiminy Cricket. So
yes.
What is this? I'm not I can tell the magazines and the hats are on the left. What is that on the right?
On the right, that is my ceiling here in Wizards HQ, as we call it. I have all the Wizard posters, the insert posters, and they just cover the ceiling. They're the wallpaper.
Okay, so they're the inserts. And what did you do? You
just tacked them up.
Destroyed magazines?
Well, actually, there are people that some people didn't keep the magazine. They only kept the posters. And this came from a huge lot of somebody that just had all the posters and wasn't from the Poster Mania releases, literally ripped out of the magazine. And I was just like, this is $5. I will take all of these and not feel bad about putting them up because we have the originals, but then we have extras. So,
where do you find all this stuff?
Yeah, where'd you find all this stuff?
eBay is a lot of it, but we've actually, in doing the show, a lot of folks have contacted us saying, hey, I got a huge archive of Wizard. What are you missing? What do you need?
What they're implying is, my wife wants me to get rid of this. Give it to somebody else.
Somebody might will tolerate it as long as it stays in the office.
That is incredible, and I love the hats. Now, there's some other really interesting stuff. Yeah. What? It's a little hard to say. What is this?
So that's the back wall behind me here. And what that is just a sampling of the Wizard promotional posters that were hanging up in the comic book stores that were sent to say, hey, next issue, it's going to have an X-Men cover. Hey, next issue is Spawn, next issue, so on and so forth. So for the first probably, I would say 75 issues, we have most of the posters that promoted the issue to go along with it, which is really fun.
Do you know how many there are?
I don't. I don't know when it stopped, and that's what I've been trying to track. But it's somewhere like in I think maybe like the 120s or 115, somewhere in there. They kind of stopped promoting it. Just said everybody knows what Wizard is.
I just feel, Mike. I just feel like he could just one phone call to Dan Riley. Dan would be like, there was 127 of them, 3 variants, and he would do it like this.
Tried.
Like he would just
it still gives him the tick.
You give him the tick, like give me something hard.
All
right, so we're looking at the promotionals. I see the ceiling work there. I see the hats. What's in black and white here?
So black and white. One of those, the framed one in the black frame, is actually an original piece of art that was part of a Wizard magazine. Yeah. So
and then the other black and white is what? What is
the
that?
other one? Is some fan art. Michael, you want to describe that one?
is that our first logo, or is that the one where you're Venom and I don't even know what I was? Some sort of, I don't know.
You're Batman in a black costume Spider-Man. Yeah, that was fan art that somebody made a Wizard magazine cover, but with us on the cover. And so a little mockery of Rob Liefeld in the art there. So.
No one ever mocked Rob Liefeld. Okay, so I see action figures, right?
Yep, so those are some Toy Fair exclusives. Actually, Mike sent several of those early Toy Fair exclusives to us.
You did, Mike?
Yeah, I sent the Professor Zoom and Kitty Pride.
Yep.
Wow,
so we really appreciate
Mike, you are really a nice guy.
Yeah,
I have a whole bunch
of me on their podcast. Why wouldn't I send them stuff?
I threw mine out. I was like, whatever.
Speaking of things that were thrown out, I have heard that there was a huge collection of Bowen statues, and I have a collection of them, and I was heartbroken when no one knows what happened to those. And I was like, I would have taken all of those, because those glass cabinets behind me are all like Hot Toys and Bowen statues and, premium format things and stuff. And I was like, oh, if I could only got my hands on those Bowen statues.
If it makes you feel any better, they actually had legs and they would walk out of the building on their own.
Oh, I fully believe that.
People's cars.
I fully believe that 100%.
So nothing was of that nature was thrown away, but they were often placed into the free area, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So you go to the free area and all the comps. Oh my goodness, there you go.
Hey, there he is.
Brian Cunningham owned the statues around the bullpen. Steve Blackwell would know. Steve Blackwell would definitely know.
That's right. He had them lined up all on the shelf.
Yes, I saw that picture. I was like, I would steal all of those.
What you really would? Oh, Adam got sick of us. What happened?
He's got bad internet in his house. He lives in Montana. Everybody, he's they're still on dial-up over there.
So Steve Blackwell was the head of design, and I would love to see what Steve Blackwell brought home with him, because I would imagine he had some amazing stuff, and then prototypes, whatever, because a lot of that stuff did get thrown out.
Yeah,
crazy.
So hold on, what was this? Redheaded at Buddy's new eBay account. Money for Michael and Adam will be big fans. That's right. That's right. I'm going to put stuff on eBay. But
just send me the links.
Blackwell, one day you got to come on the show and show us what you saved. I actually have a couple things of the Wizard days, Blackwell, that I want you to see. So stay tuned. On this show, I will reveal, and it's not just AOL discs. Okay, what are we looking at here?
Do you have another picture up? I haven't seen it yet. Are you sharing it?
You're not sharing the screen.
Oh, well, I see it fine.
There it is.
All right. These are some of the guests that we've had on recently. Michael, you want to talk about Mr. Inman, your favorite?
So Jason Inman is a guy that I've followed for a long time. He worked for DC for a little while. He has a couple of comics. He's had a very popular podcast called Geek History Lesson. And when I learned that we got him, I kind of fanboyed out on him a little bit. I was like, I have your autograph from New York Comic Con and everything. And it was really cool, dude. We had a really nice conversation, but I kind of totally geeked out on him. I was like, wow, been a fan of yours for years, and I'm a nerd. And he's actually a veteran, and he's served a country, and he's has crazy stories from that. He's a really cool dude. So I was really
did I know Jason Liebig? Did they work at Wizard ever? These guys?
no.
I was like Mike, do you remember working with these guys?
Maybe they worked in the warehouse with Donato.
With Donato. All right. So, and Jason, of course, worked at Marvel, right?
Marvel. Yeah.
We also had Jimmy Palmiotti on recently, and Ron Mars. Jimmy Palmiotti is really cool to talk to.
Jimmy is indeed very, very cool. Okay, so what are we looking at here?
So these are autographed copies of Wizard we got from, as one of the favorite features in Wizard that most readers remember was the envelope art section. There was a contest every month, draw a picture on your envelope when you sent in your question, and it would be featured in the magazine. And so we talked to a guy who's a professional artist now, and he's like, hey, I entered that contest and I won these autographed issues of Wizard, autographed by the Wizard staff. And if you look very carefully, there is a Buddy Scalera on there. There is a Mike Fasolo on there.
I see me. I don't see buddies.
Yeah, Buddy.
I see me. Yeah, I see me on the right here.
Yeah.
Where's Mike?
I'm down to the
down
right.
behind his left side right there. Yeah.
Oh, and I was all ready to be like, haughty and insulted. I would have been like, oh, I didn't sign that. Not really.
So we traded actually some pretty collectible comics from the archives for those. Those mattered a little bit more to me than the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099 and so on. But I happen to have like 4 or 5 copies, so I didn't feel too bad.
Now Blackwell speaks. He says, Sting, we got to go to Cleveland to a WCW match to shoot that. That was a custom shoot? I didn't know that. I just assumed that it was like a headshot provided. This is an example of something I had no idea. Did you know that about that, Mike?
I didn't, but it was wrestling, and there was a huge wrestling contingent at Wizard. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got to go there and take pictures and do everything.
I mean, what an amazing thing, amazing career Steve Blackwell had that I'm just finding out about. All right, what are we looking at here?
So this is more autograph stuff. I am fascinated by the early merch. Yeah. So this is Mike Fasolo right there. So
I remember when Adam got this, it was like he was holding the Holy Grail as Indiana Jones. He's like, can you believe this? This is amazing.
Because the magazine merchandised from the beginning, and they were selling these hats that you could buy. But then this was another contest winner who said, I got this as part of a prize pack, and he offered it, and I was able to grab it. So I was like, wow, I can't believe it. So a piece of Wizard history for sure. And then we just got a black hat version of that from Greg Orlando. He found that in his collection and sent us the black version of that embroidered hat. So very excited.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I still have some stuff, and when I finally get back home, I'm gonna have to go through all my stuff and send a bunch of stuff to you guys.
So Blackwell added in about the Sting shoot. Me, Schiraldi, and Joe Yanarella met DDP. What is DDP?
Diamond Dallas Page.
Bam! All right.
Wow. So I don't know, Blackwell, you're going to have to tell me. This is my favorite Wizard merch ever. This one is unworn. I only had a couple of them. They made them in black and white. So on the front, you have the Wizard logo, but on the back is what I thought was
Adam
the
has one.
Wizard.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There it is. I always thought that this, and I think it was Brad that designed this, or I don't know, is it Brad or was it Steve that designed that? But this was my favorite Wizard merch. I kept one unworn one. I have one unworn black one and one unworn. And then, of course, this is my last staff shirt. It probably has armpit stains in it. So,
Well, while we're on shirts, I want to show one
Brad
more.
Fountain. There you go. All right, he did definitely do the design.
This is
design genius. Yeah, there you go.
The infamous Big Cheese.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness! I don't think I've ever seen that. Did you see that, Mike?
I did. I remember. I don't know if I had one, but I remember seeing it around.
Wait, they made more than one?
Oh yeah.
This might be the only one they made and the only one they sold.
So
Maybe the
again,
Arab's wrong.
reaffirming it was Brad Fountain, and he's a design genius. So another Brad Fountain special. Yeah, well, there you go. But did Brad design this? Huh?
How did that happen with the AOL affiliation where it was just
Let me
like,
tell you, young man, we will get into that. I will not break the format. Don't let me. All right, but okay, so what in tarnation is this?
It's us again.
Oh,
So, yeah.
hold on, let's go back.
Ready.
What in tarnation is this?
oh my
So
goodness, this is
the actual archive here. So this is the original photo I showed you with the stacks of the magazines. That's everything we've covered so far on the show. This is what we have to get through. This is
Wait,
the 9
which stack
years.
did you do, and which stack do you have to get to?
No, everything you're seeing on these shelves, we still have to do.
oh good.
Every issue.
Yeah.
Michael just aged.
Woo, we got a long way to go. I mean,
So Steve is right. I was the AOL whore. That's right. I sold my body to make money for the company, and I am proud of it. So I see the comic book price guides, the specials, the hardcovers. I see our shirt, Mike, right there. There's our shirt.
Yeah, there's the staff shirt. And then
There's our
the
staff
longer to the left of the shirt.
What is this?
That is Entertainment Retailing Magazine.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You will find my first published byline for Wizard in Entertainment Retailing, where I did, I believe, a profile on Neil Gaiman.
Oh,
that's kind of cool.
Not bad for your first gig.
Yeah.
So, and then what's over here? What's the yellow?
that is the next picture. So if you want to move to your next pictures there, yeah, there we go. So what this is,
the National Geographic of Wizard.
yeah,
That's what it looks like, right, Michael?
Bundle.
Yeah.
So a listener tipped us off to this, that somebody was selling this, an old timer comic book store owner. This is issue 3 of Wizard, which was the Eric Larson Wolverine cover. This is a still sealed bundle with the card on the front that tells you issue 1 sold out, issue 2 sold out. Don't get caught short, reorder. And so they're basically saying you've got issue 3 in your hands, but order more because it's going to sell out. And it's just this promotional piece, preserved, still, sealed. It was exciting.
Where did you get that?
Like I said, it was on eBay. There was a guy who was just, he had a comic book store in the 90s and he was selling off old stock.
How much did you pay for that?
I got to know.
I think it was mostly shipping is what I paid because it's so heavy. So
what is this
probably
Wizard stuff
$10.
worth money? Is this Wizard stuff worth money? I mean, can I put Mike through college?
I guess this is what I would say. If you hunt long enough, you find the deals. Then you find the people who think that it's worth $150 for issue 75, and you're just like, this is just a good issue of Wizard, but it's not collectible. But
How much would you pay for Mike's shirt right now? Like literally, if he
Sweat stains and all.
Yeah, exactly. Don't wash it. Don't wash it. You get an extra $50.
Mike, how much do you think that shirt's worth right now?
This is worth at least 250 cents.
I would say about that. I think that's a good bargain for the Wizards guys. Hold on now. Let's see what else. Oh, this is before trivia time. So now I want to show some stuff. So I don't know what issue did this come from?
We lose Adam again? No.
Sorry, that is actually from issue 76. That's our episode that's about to come out. Yeah, we're recording that tomorrow night.
Do you still have your card, Mike? Your
No, I don't think I ever got one.
No. Adam, what is with Adam? Adam, come out of Montana.
I'm telling you.
Right.
It's his...
So true story, and to your point, this was designed. I know you're going to say, how can it be? This was not designed by Wizard.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah.
This was not designed by Wizard. They did the first one, and I don't know if it was Steve or Brad or whoever. They absolutely went bonkers. So Wizard then got the rights to design their own. And then I think AOL was like, we can design like Wizard, and they did this one, the Holy Guacamole. Because nothing says we speak the language of comics like Holy Guacamole.
Yeah.
So we have that. No, hold on. I'm gonna go big here, and I'm not gonna go because I'm already home. Okay, so here's what I have. This was Mike. Did you save all this stuff? I saved everything. So that was my first business card.
I think I have some business cards somewhere. Yeah,
That's cool.
That was the first. Then this was the. This was the second. They added color. This is when Wizard was like, oh, man. Yeah, and then they listed AOL, Wizard Press, Toy Fair.
Is it like American Psycho where you're comparing the embossment and the print on it?
Yes. And then I had this one, yeah. Right? And then we went Wizard World, Mike. We went Wizard World. And then we had our Wizard World. Like, we had new business cards all the time, right, Mike?
Yeah. Do you remember the notepads they had? The Wizard notepads?
I still have mine.
Oh, do you? I have some somewhere. Yeah.
I still have mine. Now, I wanna show something. So far, how am I doing, Adam? Am I impressing you yet?
You're wowing me. I'm adding stuff to our checklist. Gotta find this. Gotta find this.
He's like, "What's Buddy's address? I have to go loot his house."
All right, so here we go, and I'm wondering what Blackwell's reaction will be to this. So, I am not ashamed to say that I went dumpster diving. Like, I did not take anything that was not in the trash. But I was fascinated, and one of the reasons I went to Wizard was because I was fascinated with behind the scenes. So, the trash thing was literally at the back of the building. So I was like, all right, well, you walk past it, and they would throw away hold on. These are
the preliminary prints. Oh, wow.
Color match prints. Ooh. Of the actual magazines, and you get these color match prints, and sometimes you're on different paper. Some of them, and I just grabbed from the top, some of them literally had notes by the editors written right on them, but you can see some handwritten items here. I smell Adam right now. I can smell him from here. He's so excited.
I gotta ask you a question, buddy.
Interiors too. Look, they had interiors.
Oh yeah,
very cool.
He's probably been looking for those.
How far are you from Brooklyn?
I apparently pretty close, I think. So we had some of this. It was all the magazines, right? We had all the magazines.
Wow, yeah.
And there was all and like this stuff would get thrown in the trash. This is an interesting artifact. This one, this shows where the ad would go.
Oh yeah, okay.
Before the ad would go in there. So, Michael, pretty close to Brooklyn. Is that what you're asking?
So I teach at a college in downtown Brooklyn, and we're a graphic arts, communication design degree program through CUNY, and we do events called Meet the Pros. And maybe I can coordinate if you were interested to come and speak to our students about, exactly that stuff.
As long as you bring those things with you, you can come.
You can speak to him about dumpster diving, how he got all those.
Right. I mean, you're like, always check the dumpster.
I can't believe you went by the dumpster, saw those, and were like, I'm taking these.
I did. They were like right on top. Like, true story, right, Mike? You could go to Wizard, and in the back there would be the dumpster, and then as they would have too much stock, which was unbelievable because you could fit like 18 wheelers in there. Not like you could fit 18 wheelers in there. They would occasionally throw away action figures and half editions in part. Now this is, I don't know how true it is. I'd have to ask. Oh, there it is. They're match prints. And then Steve, don't do that to the poor kids. Steve, and I don't know if this is true. Did they throw away excess stock because they wanted to ensure that there was a rarity because there was just too many of them, or was it it couldn't have been taking up too much space, right, Mike? I mean, it was endless space. You could park cars in there.
It was a giant warehouse. It was row after row and row after row of shelves. I mean, 2 or 3 levels high. They had plenty
So
of space.
like action figures and then like color match prints because they were just there and like they were garbage. But I kind of in my mind thought, oh, maybe this is Wizards' original art.
Those are amazing artifacts.
No, they didn't hold on to everything, Steve. I remember dumpster diving and pulling stuff out. They like, trust me, I was covered in banana peels and apple cores at the same time as pulling these things out of the trash.
As Donato pulls it out of the trash.
Donato,
That's what I was going to say. Ask Donato.
Donato threw me in the trash and I climbed my way back out. So Adam and Michael, thoughts? What are your thoughts on these random things that people have kept?
Well, knowing Adam, I mean, he's the king of keeper of random things. So it's I think it's part of just the culture of comic books and collecting in general. Just like one man's trash is another man's treasure, and there's a lot. Even though certain things may not have a lot of like financial value, there's a lot of sentimental value, and there's like a bygone era sort of feeling to it to hold on to, and it amazes me. Like I remember when Justin Orlando pulled that Gen 13 figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Greg Orlando had a Fairchild prototype.
Match prints were usually discarded because there were errors. The good ones went to the printer to match the print. Now there's a piece of information I actually did not know that. So Steve just filled in a blank. Michael, you mentioned sentimental value. Sentimental value, does that pay the mortgage? Or
not in my house, it doesn't.
Because I'm hoping to sell these to Adam and pay and get that house in Beverly Hills that Mike has always wanted.
My currency is sentimental value. That is for sure. That's the world I deal in, retro collectibles and all of that. So I can guarantee, yeah. But
all right, so that's it for the show, everybody. Good night. All right, so Kevin says, now I wish I could hear a panel by Buddy at my Coney school, but sadly I am not in a graphic design program. What's a Coney school?
I think he needs CUNY for
Coney, or it's a school made out of cones.
It could be, yes.
Right? It's a Coney school. I did not know that about those match prints. Did you know that, Mike?
I did not. You should look at them, see what errors there are.
Exactly.
Well, I look at this and I'm like, wow, like, Harley Quinn, this is a pretty big deal. This is a high in sentimental value, and I would say high in monetary value.
It actually might be worth something.
It might be worth something. So he did admit it. Sort of said CUNY, and then he admits, my bad. And I have to say, yeah, you're bad. I had nothing to do with that typo. Kevin, I'm just playing with you. All right, let's see. Glenn says, buddy, that sounds me and my Image / Dark Horse comic collection. It's worth $75. I would take $75, right? 75 is better than what I think it is. And I understood what you were saying. So, I didn't understand Coney, but I did understand your caveman speak. Buddy, that sounded me like me and my Image Dark Horse. Glenn, when he gets wound up. So, so I saved a lot of stuff. And then not too long ago, I just was completely in an unsentimental mood and I just threw it out. Mike, did you save a lot of stuff?
I have some stuff. I have to go through the attic in my parents' house, but yeah, I don't know exactly what I have, but I'm sure there is some.
I saved one or two like memos and stuff that I thought were entertaining, and then I threw them out.
The shirt.
Did you? What'd you save?
I saved the shirt.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The one he's wearing.
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna give to Adam for 250 cents.
So Adam, what do you think? Is there a treasure trove or what of I think you have to have each of the like Steve Blackwell must have stuff.
Oh.
I mean, Blackwell's got stuff. Like I got stuff that was in the trash. Right? What was not thrown away? That's what I want to know. I want to know what Blackwell actually has.
Yes, the Blackwell archives. We must be let in there to see, and it's pretty awesome. That's been the most fun as we've interviewed on our Wizard Files series. Talk to your coworkers at Wizard, just the things that they held on to over time that mattered to them, and the things they said, I don't need this anymore. But when they tell you, what what all was floating around the office. Just Andrew Carden for a long time was handling all like the merchandise, and he just felt like his office was full of merch constantly of stuff that was being produced. That a lot of people said, like, I always wanted to get this watch that was like a Green Lantern watch, and I never saw it for sale anywhere, and that type of stuff. Then Ron Mars is like, oh, I have two. So it's just funny how that works. Like a lot of stuff, we didn't know where to get it. Wizard would give us a heads up, but then sometimes you didn't know. But yeah, to me, it is the Wizard specific, stuff, because in general, I don't think those were high sellers, like the branded merchandise. So that's like, where did it go? It probably did end up in the trash ultimately. It was in the warehouse for a decade, and then they said, nobody's buying these. We got to get rid of them, So the few that still exist, that's something special.
It's almost too bad that there wasn't like an e-commerce store in the early 2000s that they could have and they would have made a killing doing that.
Well, Wizard tried to set one up on the website.
when we were there, we were there when we launched the Wizard store.
Yeah.
That Stephen Jamis sold things off of. I'm not sure. Not exactly sure what was sold and where the money went, but I know that there was an online store and a guy named Vito. I don't know. Just,
with cannolis.
With cannolis. there was so. Adam, you also threatened to show me a few other things that may be here, so I'm going to put you on the big screen again.
So
show us what else you got. Special. Oh no, that's not it. This is it.
Oh yeah,
no, that's not it. This is
a strange collectible that I just found recently. This is what does it look like? What does it look like? Why does it have that in there? This is a carrying case by Ultra Pro, okay, that was meant to carry around. You take it to the con, okay, it has a strap, and then what do? You get your block of Wizard magazines, you put them inside, and now it's a carrying case.
I want one of those. Where was
that? Is that crazy?
When did they make those? Did you ever see that, Mike?
I never remember them.
Yeah.
Mike, didn't they have like satin baseball jackets and stuff?
Yeah.
Didn't they? Right? I never got any of the good stuff. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really.
You can buy it off Adam.
Yeah. Hey, we'll trade.
I can't believe that.
This other thing I wanted to share.
Yeah, I'd buy that too. I would buy that too.
This is Previews magazine from the year that Wizard was released, and it contains the original ads for Wizard magazine for dealers to order for the first issue of Wizard. Okay, so there's one here, and then there's another one on the other side that's just a slightly different design. So they went all in on promoting the first issue here. So see, you get a little better look at the McFarlane cover there. Wow. But so this is just a real special item just to know. Wow, okay, there's where it began. And then I have this issue from 1993 during the Nightfall saga, where everything was, all about Batman. And inside, at that time, just to like mark where Wizard was, the 25th issue of Wizard had just come out. Sorry, it's a big magazine. So we have this Jim Lee cover with Deathblow on it, issue 25, bloody good, okay? But then over here, it's talking about the Wizard Pogs, which never came out. This is my holy grail, is the Wizard Pogs. It was promoted in the magazine as Gops, and they sold one. There was a 25th anniversary issue, commemorative.
Did you ever see a Wizard Pog?
I in my mind, I believe I did, but you said they never came out. So
was it like a slammer? Is that what it was?
I don't. What they were showing designs in the ad, and actually the shirt you held up, buddy. A lot of those, because they were onomatopoeias, right, on that shirt, and that's what was supposedly going to go on the Pogs when they showed you a promotional look at it. And the thing that I find fascinating is that Steve Blackwell has told us, on social media, that there were Pog fights happening in the office. People were chucking Pogs at each other. I was like, were any of those Wizard Pogs? And then you guys just checked them out. But I think they were going to be made to order, and then they realized, we can't call them Pogs. They're Gops. Cut it off. We don't want to get sued by the Pog Corporation.
I honestly, I know that there were Pogs around the office, right, Mike? I just don't know if I ever saw a Wizard Pog.
Yeah, I don't think they were ever fully printed. Yeah, just
Oh wait,
one.
here's Steve saying I could kill with Pogs.
That's right. He
Great
used to
Pogs.
flip the Pogs, and they like stick into the walls and stuff.
What you don't know about Steve Blackwell, you probably can't tell from pictures, is if you measure your thigh, that was Steve's arm, right? Like he could crush your head if he needed to, and I'm pretty sure he crushed a few heads during time. But if Steve could probably go through a brick wall with one of them. All right, and then Pogs, haha, that's a trip down memory lane. But it's not just a trip down memory lane, Redheaded Ed. It is one of the holy grails that Adam is looking for. It may or may not exist.
And if somebody comes up with them, I'm gonna have to go get them authenticated somewhere. Send them to Steve. What do you say, Steve? What do you know about these? Well, these vintage? Were they actually printed in 1993?
Yeah, there's a lot of random weird stuff, and I think Wizard was very productive. Like, you know what, Adam? What you should try to find out is what happened to the Wheel of Doom.
Yes.
Like, what happened to it, Mike?
Oh, at the convention spinny thing? Yes. That was probably in the warehouse that got in the dumpster that you dove in for.
I would have taken that. I would have definitely. What's a joke from The Simpsons? Pogs?
Pogs?
Oh, yeah. They're back. Alf, he's back in Pog form.
Oh, Masters of trivia here.
Yeah.
But speaking of trivia, you guys, what you do you remember that there would be lines of people, and we would spin the Wheel of Doom. And how did it work, Mike? Like, if you landed on something, you could do. There you go. Alpha's back in Pog.
Yeah, you can do a physical challenge to get whatever the prize was. You had to answer a question.
Right, you had to answer a question. Right, but what was on the wheel?
It was like a half issue or what are those half issues?
Ace editions?
Ace editions, yeah, something like that. There was always or a magazine. You got an issue with the magazine, something like that.
There's a picture where Migo Spidey is actually attached to it as well. So Migo Spidey made it on the Wheel of Doom at one point. Yeah.
And then I remember the physical challenge. So if you got the question wrong and you wanted to try again, you could do a physical challenge, right, Mike?
Yeah, if you got the question wrong and you wanted the prize anyway, you had to do a physical challenge. Yeah. So it was always something like, do 100 push-ups or run around and get something from this booth or that booth. But I remember it was in I think Chicago, where Buddy and I were on the wheel, and we were hungry.
Yeah.
So one of the kids got a question wrong, so we sent him to the food booth, gave him $20, and like, here, go get us some hot dogs. Fully expecting them never to come back, but they did. They came back quick.
Yeah, we literally gave him cash, guys, and the prize that he won was valued less than the cash. So we were like, we need food, change, and a receipt, right? And like the guy could have just been like, all right, I'm taking the 20. And I no doubt we gave him more than that. And he came back with food, change, and a receipt. We were like, here's a half issue that's worth $1.
Would you like so happy.
Yeah.
And that guy eventually sold that on eBay, and it's now in Adam's house.
Yeah, well, at the time, those half issues were definitely worth money. I do remember, and I won't get into it on a public channel, but I think Mike and I were asked not to do the wheel anymore because we started to ask for increasingly less and less appropriate things from people. There was a couple times where we were like, I think we might have even crossed the line on that one.
Well, and I got to tell you guys, so the one that was reported in the magazine, like the big one that stood out to me was somebody had to go with a bullhorn in their hand, run over to where Mike Waringo was signing comics, jump in his lap, sing "I'm a Little Teapot" into the bullhorn, just right in there. That was what was described, and I was like, "That's amazing."
And it's before digital cameras, so like there's no
history. There's no
like, where is that beautiful moment where they're. But yeah, I do remember the physical challenges being fun, but like you got punchy after a while. Now, trust me, like everybody go, give me a Simpsons question. And after a while, you were like, I'm out of Simpsons questions, but never dawning on us that we could just ask the same Simpsons question because, 25 people earlier, they didn't hear the Simpsons question, but we were constantly challenging ourselves to come up with better and better questions, but then also trying to level up the physical challenge. I do remember something that we would do, and I remember they did it to me. When you were early there, and did they do this to you, Mike? When you were early there, they would say, you know, Mike Fasolo, please dial *9.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you would dial *9, and that was intercom.
Oh,
It wasn't on your phone.
It'd be the
So
whole.
you'd hear dial Mike Fasolo, dial *9, and you hear hello, hello, and then you hear it hang up, and then they would do it with greater urgency. They go, Mike Fasolo, please dial *9 as soon as possible. And you hit *9, and you hear hello. I don't think anybody's there. Hello. But it was sort of one of many rites of passages that I felt like we all had to walk over the coals of *9, right, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. We used to tape the.
Mike, you muted.
Oh, I muted.
Yeah.
We would take down the little thing on the phone, and then you dial that person. So when they pick up, they wouldn't answer, but they'd just be sitting there, and the phone's still ringing, and they're like, "Hello, hello," and then they go crazy, like the phone's still ringing. They'd be trying to cut the thing on the thing to figure out what was going on.
I came back from vacation once, and Mike, you and somebody else had come back and taped everything upside down on my desk, from my monitor to my keyboard to my mouse to everything. All the pictures on the walls were turned upside down, and I spent the day like
Turning
pulling things up.
I heard there was like a foosball table or a pool table that they had there that like the interns would use the first day, and then no one would ever touch it all the time. It just kind of sat there and like collected dust.
Right, foosball, ping pong,
Pinball. We had a
N64
pinball machines, yeah.
You could be doing work, and it would be like, boop, boop, Mike Fasolo, please come down for your to Pat McCallum's office, and you'd play N64 because you were up in the you'd stop work, and it was just accepted that it's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, good times.
We'd be working on the website like, oh, I gotta go. Same thing, right? And then I don't remember who did it, but they had a ping pong table, and then someone bought movie theater, or was it stadium chairs, right, Mike?
A couple, yeah, that's right. They had like 4 chairs that they put up on the side,
yeah, and you could watch it. And we had the weight loss competition called the Jelly Gauntlet, which I'd like to say I won.
Buddy, I have to ask you about this because they were merciless.
It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. but they were always poking fun at your weight, and you look at the pictures, you're like, Buddy Scalera was not overweight to an obsessive degree. Like he's just a big boy.
Obsessive degree. Like he had the couch out. He's like wasn't as fat as a house.
How do I word this in 2023 PC way?
I'm just saying, it's my comparison because I have the same body type. So I was just like, no, what are you guys doing? But there was a story from the Chicago Comic-Con where they said you got on an elevator and the max limit was reached and you had to get off.
I remember that. Yes.
It was, and then I got off and the elevator was able to continue.
There had to be like 500 people in that elevator. And then Buddy gets on and the alarms start going off. He steps out and the alarm doors close and it goes up.
I will tell you, it was not one of my favorite moments. It was one of those moments. And then I watched the elevator doors close and I'm like, I got to lose weight.
It's like, I'm never going to live this one down.
When they drove your car through the parking lot when you were in Brian's office or Pat's office.
What did they do? Wait, what was it?
They got you into Pat and Brian's office. Brian wasn't there, and somehow you always left your keys on your desk.
I did. I always did.
So Brian went and took his keys, and as he's in the office, it had all windows. They drove his car past the windows. And Buddy's like, and he takes off out of the office, getting his car.
Yes, there was quite the tomfoolery, right, Mike? There was. And Mike actually found the limit to my sense of humor with Brian Cunningham. Yes. Mike, tell the story. How you found the limit of my sense of humor.
We were in Buddy's office and Buddy wasn't there, but he had left a little bag of baby carrots on his desk. And Brian and I were in there talking about something, and Brian ate a couple carrots, and then he goes, "Oh, watch this." And I was like, no, just chew on a couple of them. So he pulls out a carrot, he just chewed it a little bit, and then put it back on top of the bag. So he quickly goes out of there, and I'm back at my desk working. And Buddy comes in. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He sits down, and he grabs the carrot. I don't know if you took a bite or if you just looked at it.
I did.
He took a bite, and then he sees that there were teeth marks in it.
Oh,
And
no.
he not straight face as you can be. He just turned to me and he went, "Get out, get out now." And I had to leave the office.
He had to leave the office, and I will add, I went home early that day. I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna be sick, and I just got in the car. I didn't say anything to anybody. I left and never left Carrots out, and yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. That was the angriest I've ever. Just get out, get out.
Yeah, that was definitely. Mike became aware that I have OCD and germophobia, and so if you shake my hand, you know that my hand will be cleaning your hand because I'm washing them constantly. So the fact that Brian's mouth touched something, then went into my mouth, I went home and I drank Lysol because that's the only solution. So that is just one of many fascinating stories that need to get the proper coverage by the dynamic duo of the Wizards podcast. Now, guys, we're going to invite you to join us here with the remaining time we have. Mike brings us trivia, and we take that trivia and we think, what kind of story could we make of this? So, Mike, I want you to lead off. Tell me, what do we have with tonight's trivia?
This is the infamous Face on Mars, taken by I believe it was 1977, one of the probes they sent there. And of course, it caused a whole big stir on, is it really a face? And then NASA sent a couple other probes back, but one of them, the camera didn't work. And the second one, then they said, we have another picture of it, but no one could ever actually find it. So the question is it really a face? Is it like something artificial that was built on Mars? And why hasn't NASA ever sent anything back there to that region, even though there's been 2 rovers up there? They never send anything back to that region to find out exactly what it is.
So, Mike, I had a theory that this was sort of like, people who find like Jesus's face in an ice cream cone, right? And then I realized this morning I had a very interesting experience, and I want to share this with you because this is all true. Not making any of this up. I opened up the box of Eggos this morning, and this waffle came out. It has Madonna's face on it. So this came directly out of the box. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't change it in any way. This indeed. So yeah, Redheaded Ed is saying that Jesus was on her toast, and today Madonna was on my waffle. So came completely out like that. I take this very seriously, Mike. So that's the
As
Madonna.
You should.
That's the Madonna Eggo. So so that's our bit of trivia for tonight. I would obviously, this to me would be a comedy, Mike, that they do a secret mission and they send a guy up with a broom
to sweep it away.
And they're like, sweep that away. It is going to send the Area 51 people bonkers. And the story is about the guy, and they don't have a way for him to get home. So they were like, go up there with a broom, and we just tell his story. So I'm going to go to you first, Adam. What would you do? What would you do with this story?
Well, I would definitely, I would do kind of like a Robinson Crusoe story where someone ends up there stranded. Castaway, one of my favorite Tom Hanks films, and that would end up being his Wilson, but it would might actually be for Castaway 2. This might be the sequel. He now gets stranded on Mars, and he's there and he's talking to it. But then it actually starts talking back, and it's the most annoying person. When he was talking to Wilson, he could control the conversation. Now he's going 2 ways, and he loses his mind.
So instead of FedEx, he works for like Mars X, right? and he's got that. Michael, what would you do? What would you do with this? How would you turn this into a story?
See, I see this more of like a Han Solo frozen in carbonite sort of a thing, where like somebody who is, a resident of Mars broke some sort of laws, and the people of Mars, their punishment is they, adhere you into the planet, and this is how that person was sort of frozen in time, and what the punishment for whatever they did in their crime.
That is very dark, Michael. That is very, very dark. And Fasolo, our 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer from the television show Robot Chicken, what would you do with this?
I would do a comedy version of it, but I would tell it from the perspective of Mars. So, highly advanced society, they know we're watching them, and they have actually put the face there knowing that it's going to cause such a stir on Earth, and they do it basically just as a prank to prank Earth. So it would be all from them. Their scientists are laughing, and it's all they put it up on the big screen for the whole society to watch, just how crazy Earthlings go over.
That is like Mars' version of Star 9,
Yeah.
right? Like they're like, this is Star 9. So Redheaded Ed said the Easter Island guys sent him away for being too talkative. He is still sulking. You know what? It seems as good of a story hook as any. The link to this well-researched article Mike provided for us is in the show notes. We are going to ask the guys, where can they find you? Where should they go to? Well, actually, let's do this. I'll just say like, comment, and subscribe. It increases our algorithm. We love you. We would love more of you. Have grandma subscribe. Guys, tell us where they can find the Wizards podcast.
Sure. So you could find us on Instagram at Wizards_comics, on Twitter at Wizards Comics, and Facebook at Wizards Comics. You can find us on our YouTube channel, the Wizards Podcast. Is it? Yeah, right. We also have a Patreon. We have a TeePublic.
Patreon.
Yeah.
You have a Patreon? You guys are making money?
Well,
we're doing our best.
We're trying.
So Adam can buy more stuff.
Yeah, we have a TeePublic store where we get our merch from TeePublic, and we're also actually, speaking of getting money, we actually are sponsored with Manscaped now. So you have a promo code, you can get discounted. Yeah.
Wait, what is Manscaped?
Okay, all right. So
Manscaped,
Manscaped is a
just show us, Michael.
Well, you see my head here,
Michael. No, Michael, that's not. You're not committing.
I use it here, but it's intended for there. Give you the deep V, So, but yeah, no, definitely our Twitter is very active at Wizards Comics for sure, and our Instagram. Like, if you want to see images of each issue we talk about, Adam posts all that stuff there, and I comment. I'm like, oh, I forgot we talked about that. That's right. That happened. Yes. What I find so funny, and I want to bring this up, is people will reference things that we've talked about in the show, and it may have been 2-3 years ago. I'm like, I really said that? Like, I don't even have these conversations. It's just like,
because it should be mentioned. Up to this point, we've only covered 75 issues of the magazine, but somehow we have 300 plus episodes. How is that?
Oh my God.
I said,
Yeah.
We have interviews, we have all of the specials, we have spin-offs, we have bonus movie reviews, things like that. And so all of that is mixed in. You can find it at wizardscomics.com if you just want to check out the full archive there as well, or your favorite podcatcher.
Wait, so what's your website again?
Wizardscomics.com.
Wizardscomics.com. And you guys, how frequently do you go on?
We're every week. We're a weekly podcast. So we have the main episode, and then we do a mini episode called our Wizards Half episodes. That we have. Yep. So there you go. How about that?
Hey, how weird is it to be on somebody else's show just talking about your show?
It's actually
very
kind of
meta?
freeing. It's very cool. Like,
Yeah.
Adam
You just
has
have
me
to show
heavily
up. You're like, I didn't even have to prepare. I just showed up.
Adam's got me telling me how to say it. I'm like, I could just talk to these guys, and just I am fascinated by you both. So just to even be asked to be on your show is an honor to us, and a real privilege to be recognized, and it means a lot to us. Believe me.
Right, Michael, I agree. It really is an honor and a privilege for you.
Absolutely.
Right, Mike? I mean, for Michael especially, it is a big honor and privilege. But
it's my pog. Let me tell you, it's my pog.
I will tell you, just as you're fascinated by what we did, we are fascinated by you, right, Mike? We were like, usually we talk about guests. I'm like, okay, Mike, here's what we're gonna have, and Mike will go. He was impressed with Patton Oswalt, but when I said we were gonna do this show, he was like, yeah, like we wanted to know, like, what drives you guys, and thank you for doing what you're doing, because you know more than collectively. We all had one perspective, but you guys really saw it all. Like, we were usually either upstairs or downstairs. You guys have seen so much that we haven't seen.
Yeah, and ultimately that's the point of the show, is we want to be able to give an accurate view by giving literally what was in the magazine to people. Everybody has their vision of Wizard. Oh, it was a hype magazine for Image. Oh, they were just driving up prices in the marketplace, this and that. They never talked about DC, which is not true. We talk about it there's always an article about DC or Marvel. And so it's one of those things where we just want to kind of dispel the rumors and say, here's what was in there. What do you think? You know, some of it has not aged well, like any media. You know,
but you don't say. I do want to show you something, and I am quite serious about this. I had where I stop screen, and then I present screen, share screen, and then I go to this screen, and then I go to, is it this screen, or is it? Oh no, it's a Chrome tab. I encourage people to go, and I'll put this in the show notes. I had written this. You guys can see this, right?
Yep.
So I had written this article a couple years ago about just the fact that I think somebody should write a book. I had just read Sean Howe's book, The Marvel Comics, The Untold Story. Now, of course, you know, there's so much history that you cannot capture about Marvel Comics, but I feel like the Wizard history, and as you've noted, we've lost some good people. And, you know, that history, that oral history has gone with those people. And I'm hoping that what you're doing here continues to drive awareness and understanding of what was happening behind the scenes. I put that out as a call to all of the people like you who have that mindset, like, let's preserve this history, because we are losing great people. And, you know, Mike's memory is not what it once was. He thinks he's on Oprah right now. He doesn't know that this is still.
So one of the things we've been kind of toying with, because when I'm not doing podcasting, I'm actually a filmmaker and a film professor, and
you have a proper job.
Yeah. Like, I actually like teach and do nerdy professional stuff as well. But
teaches podcasting these days. So.
Yes, I even wrote a class about podcasting and YouTube content creation and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe we should take that, bud.
But we've been toying with the idea of doing a documentary about Wizard, and I'm trying to brainstorm how to weave the narrative to tell the whole story in more of an objective sort of point of view, and, you know, gathering as many people as we've spoken to over the years and kind of talk to them and get sort of an archive and make a pilgrimage up to, you know,
go to Congress.
Yes, the Congress, New York.
Give me the address, Mike.
151 Wells Avenue.
Oh, we have it. We know it.
10920.
So that's something we've been kind of toying with.
Michael, don't toy with it. Just do it. Don't break my heart. Go ahead and do it.
I'm writing a grant so that I can fund it to produce this. So I'm working.
You don't need to fund it. Just take an iPhone and film it. It's like, what do you need to fund it for? These guys, with the money, Patreon and Manscaping. You do this for love. You admit it. You do this for love. You only need the money to fund the stuff that's behind Adam and the statues that are behind you, Michael. Right?
More or less, yes.
Right. And I think, like, maybe to cut costs, instead of doing interviews, like, we'll just take all of the interviews we've already done, and then, Mike, if you could just get your crew over at Robot Chicken, we'll just do stop motion version.
Oh yeah.
We'll just
animate all the little people. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I think, Michael. I think a smash close up of Mike Fasolo. That's how we open, right?
Excellent.
Smash close up, right? And then we pull out, and you're manscaping Mike Fasolo, right?
That'll take a long time.
Right? But as you're doing it, it's growing back.
Just designing the Wizard logo in his back.
Yes.
In real time. So, guys, it's been a great pleasure. I really think what you're doing is worthwhile, and earnestly, I think your enthusiasm is impressive. Keep doing it. I think we learn things from this experience, and I think anybody that's worked at Wizard would probably agree. This is pretty awesome stuff.
Well, thank you. That means a lot, really.
Our pleasure.
No, it's been our pleasure. So we're going to put you in the green room. As I've noted, there's always licorice back there, but Mike ate all the good ones, so it's only black licorice now. So, but you can eat as much as you want, and
It's
there's
red
Layla.
vines.
And there's the red the cheap version, the red vines, and White Rock Cola.
Uh-oh, what
So
is
you can
Adam
have
getting
some-
now? Adam's got something up his sleeve. I can tell.
Oh,
He's looking for the licorice.
oh, he was looking for the licorice. All right, we're gonna put you back there. Don't go away. So we'll put them back here. Oh, and Swedish fish. So, but they're stale, redheaded Ed. They'll break your
They're the
teeth.
green ones.
The green ones. You know, it was funny. I was like, "Oh, guys, you guys have a great show," and then I'm like, "Come on, tell us we have a." And then he was like, "No."
Well,
He wouldn't throw it back to us.
they
He was
actually
like,
prepare for their shows.
I was like, "What do you guys? Great show!" And then Adam's like,
Yes, you have an excellent show, Comic Book School.
too late, Adam. You're just too late. My heart's already broken."
This is like
and-
when Buddy ate the chewed up carrots already. That's how hurt he is.
Yeah, I actually I saw Michael in the background shaving under his arms just a
Yes,
second
I
ago.
was.
So
Landscape.
he was doing that, but I think, you know what, Mike, this was a worthwhile endeavor, you know.
Oh yeah. These guys are great.
But you really brought the enthusiasm to close that out, huh?
I did.
Do you need a waffle?
Oh yeah, the waffle with Marilyn Monroe. That's awful. That is
Marilyn Monroe?
terrible.
What year were you
Madonna.
born?
Sorry, Madonna.
Jesus Christmas.
I
All
couldn't
right, guys,
remember. It wasn't like the waffle stuck out to me or anything.
The waffle.
Yeah, I know with Marilyn Monroe on it.
Okay. See you guys next Tuesday.